Well, hello again. I know it's been over 10 days or something like that since I put up a new video, but you know, I was slamming them out one a day there, so cut me some slack, you know. I got a lot of work done in the garden, stuff I need to be done before it gets really, really hot out. I got the potatoes planted, I got a few beds made, I burned that pile of crap. I mean, just, the list goes on and on, but I still have more to do. But one good thing I think came from getting away from the jukebox for a while. It gave me time to think. You know, when you're digging dirt and you're, you know, it's repetitive type work, gives you time to think and maybe form a new plan of attack on various things in your life. One of them being our jukebox project. This thing has gone on extensively longer than I had ever planned it to do. We fix something and then it turns around and it craps out again. And often it's the same problem, you know, and it works fine for a while, then it just craps out again. And there's really no rhyme or reason to it. I'm going through the book. I did everything exactly according to Hoyle, as they say. So I made a decision. You know, this thing could go on for another 50 videos. Some of y'all are fine with that. I'm fine with it also. I don't care. I'm not doing anything with my time. You know, I just piddle around. I'm retired now. But what it's doing, if you really have to look at the big picture. The big picture is it's delaying other projects. So one big project in particular, Brendan and I know what it is. We know how we got it and all that stuff, how long we've had it. And what I've decided to do is I'm going to go ahead and start the big project, the second big project after this one. Now that second, I want everybody to understand at this point in time, that second big project is going to be the last project of old-time electronics that I do. There will be no more after the completion of the next big project. So we have the juke to do and the next big project. And I'll show you the next big project at the end of this video. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop making videos. No, I'm just not going to do any more electronic stuff on YouTube. I'm going to do another huge project. I hope. It all depends. I want to do another huge project that's totally different from what I've been doing for the past how many years? I don't know. Time for a switcheroo. Now in the background I'll be messing with my radios, repairing radios, stuff like that. But it won't be on YouTube. It'll be the huge project will be on YouTube. I think you'll enjoy it when the time comes, if I live long enough, okay? I'm not going to give you some boring old project that everybody's seen a million times and it puts you to sleep and all that. I can't handle all that myself. When I look at some videos, I'm like, my God, I've seen this done 1,000 times and it still put me to sleep. I don't want that kind of reaction. So we're going to continue to work on this, and at the end of the video, like I said, we'll show you our next and last big project. So let's get back to the juke, and I'll just keep you in suspense for the rest of the video, okay? Alright, what have I been doing with the jukebox? Well, I worked on the jukebox yesterday, and I don't know if you recall. I recall for sure. I don't know if you recall, but the last time we worked on this, in the last video, it just wouldn't go, and it wouldn't operate right. It was slipping a lot. And before it got over, after I shut the video off and went in to do the editing, I came back out later that night and I tried it one more time. And this thing, it was just jumping along. I mean, it was just a kind of to make it. And I was worried that the gear teeth on the drive gear at the bottom of the clutch were going to get broken. I didn't want that to happen, and so I shut it down. And then I went ahead and did all my garden stuff. And I came back out again last night and I took the rack back off. Did a complete readjustment according to the book one more time. This is what, like 5th time, 6th time. And I'm ready to check it out. And I have not checked it out. I don't know if it's going to move at all, but I was extra meticulous, careful. I think I did it exactly the way it was supposed to be done, the way I've been doing it all along. And the only difference is we didn't start really having our jumping around problem and our gear problems like we're having until I put this top on top of this on top of the clutch. So if it starts jumping around or acting weird and doing strange things again that it was not doing previous to putting this on, I'm going to loosen up this screw, this bolt right here, and I'm going to unscrew that Allen wrench adjustment there and loosen it up just a little bit. It may be too tight, it may be I don't know. You know, it's difficult to tell because I have zero experience other than what you've seen in these videos, and we've sort of all gained the same experience at the same time. If you're like I was and had never worked on a jukebox. All I want this thing to do is pick up a record and play, and then I can go ahead and paint this up, tear this switchboard mechanism apart, get the rust off what needs to be de-rusted, paint it, make it look good, and start putting stuff back together. And of course I have to fix the amplifier. Channel 1 is still kind of flaky over here. But right now we're just concerned with picking up a record from the right slot that I select on the keyboard. So let's plug it in. I'll let it warm up for a while and I'll come back. Alright, that should do it. Let's go ahead and see if it's even going to work at all. I mean, last time it was just, you didn't see this, but it was just really bumping along. I said, oh man, I better stop. So let's see what happens. I'm just going to see if it'll run utilizing the service switch. We'll give it a scan shot. It's a little smoother. That doesn't mean a whole lot. Nice and smooth. Come on, baby. Don't mess up on me. Of course, you know, 3-4 times from now it'll start messing up. See, it's already started to mess up. Let's try it again. One more time. Hate to bore you with it, but this is what I put up with whenever I'm doing this. We got us. Let me see what happens here when it hits down here on this thing. Well, it seems to be working there. All right, let me go ahead and I've got a record in, let me see, I've got a record in C7. Let's see if we can do, by the way, I cut the ground wire. I had a ground wire, remember the ground wire I soldered from a ground on the Tor mat to a couple of the screws underneath the toroid memory unit. I went ahead and cut that wire, and I've got both ends of the wire stripped. And I want to see if it's going to work without that ground wire like that. If that's the case, then that means the ground underneath the toroid memory unit is okay. And if not, I can just go ahead and put a jumper wire between it using a gator wire. So let's see what happens. Let's put a little money in the machine. Again, lights lit. Here we go. C7. I know this is not going to work. There's C7. And of course nothing happened. Oops, not in the play position. Son of a gun, I do that every time. Let's try it. Let's blank everything out on the let's see what happens. It just picked up C7. What's going to happen with the needle? Well, just put it back in. That's probably because I canceled it out. Alright. Come on now. What's going on here? Come on. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just going to go over and stop. Okay, let's try it again. Try it again. Here, this is great, isn't it? Oh, gotta select some. Gotta put more money in the machine. Gosh, happens every time. Okay, our light is lit again. Come on, baby, do it this time. C7. You gotta have this in the play position. Come on, baby. Okay, it's picked it up. What's it gonna do? Nothing. It's gonna put it back in. Well, at least it's finding the record. And that there, I believe, is a clutch issue. We'll find out here in a minute. Now, the next one we're going to select is F5. Let's see if we can find F5. Oh my goodness. F may not even work. F, at least it's going now. I mean, that's a big deal, you know. F5, it's not jumping along and cluttering. It's selecting S5. F5. Not too shabby. He's putting it back in. I'm a happy camper. So far, it's not been doing this up until now. Let's try K3 on the next one. Alright, K3. Put more money in the machine. Lights on, K3. It hasn't been doing this before. Look at that. Boy, so far so good. I'm happy so far. Come on, if it gets K3, it is. It is picking up the records it's supposed to pick up, but of course it's putting them right back in. Not a problem. We can fix that. All right, I think we've come a long way with this. We'll work on that next time. Yep, and I think maybe the clutch downward pressure on that thing back in there that I was going to adjust, I think it might be all right. All you experts, let me know. You know, like Harry Hall and Sparky 1958. All right, so far so good. I'm pretty happy about that. Now keep in mind we have not adjusted any of the electronic contacts. That'll be next. Oh man, that makes me feel pretty good. Let's try, I'll tell you what, before we turn around and look at our next project, let's try C6. We'll try the other side of the record. C6. It's picking it up. The needle's moving over to that side. No, it didn't pick it up. It missed it. It missed it. I may have to do a little bit of adjusting. Let's try it again. No, it missed C6. Try it again. One more time and then I won't bore you anymore, okay? Let's see. If it misses it, then I know I've got a little bit of adjustment to do. C6. Try it one more time. Okay, it missed picking up the record. It's not aligned. It's not aligned on the slot. I'm going to have to mess around with that a little bit. Okay, we can handle that. Alright, at least she's moving now when we press the button. And it's not jumping and skipping and doing all kind of crazy stuff. And it's not loose and going back and forth like it's not supposed to. Very good. Okay, let's get and show you what the next, the parallel project is going to be. In addition to this, what I'll have is one jukebox video and then maybe one of the new project and then a jukebox and then a new project. I've got to get these things done so I can move on to other things. Let's take a look at it. Well, there it is. Yes, it is. And I know by now, most of you who have been watching the videos all know that it's a pinball machine. Yes, it is. I've been wanting a pinball machine for a long time. I'll tell you a quick story about how I got it, and then we'll take the cover off and let you see it. I went on Arkansas Craigslist, and every so often I'd go there looking for a pinball machine, and then finally, after like a couple of years, 3 of them popped up being sold by some guy who lives in the same town where my boy lives, up in Rogers, Arkansas. I couldn't believe it. What are the odds of that, you know? Again, big state, every little town, and what town right there where my son lived. So the guy wanted, I think he was asking $400 for each one. He had 3 in a row. So I called up my son. I said, hey, look, I want you to go down to this guy. Here's the address. Go down and check these pinball machines out. And let me know what you think. I said, they look pretty good in the pictures. One looks a little kind of ragged, you know, but the other 2 don't look too bad. So he said, yeah, okay, I'll go down, Dad. You know, I'm always bugging him. He's always bugging me. Go here, do this for him. You know, I went to a junkyard. You know, I had to do a 100-mile round trip to get a door for him for one of his cars, you know, and least he can do is go down and, you know, check out a pinball machine for dear old Dad. You know how that goes. Of course, I wouldn't take no for an answer. So he went down. He called the guy up. And he said, I'll be down tomorrow. He went down, checked it out. He contacted me and he said, it's pretty good, Dad. One of them looks really, really good. The other 2, you know, the third one's kind of really sucks like you thought. But the one, you know, they almost the whole spread, you know, you got a pretty good one, then a somewhat good one, then a piece of crap. I said, well, try to talk him down a little bit. And if he'll go down a little bit, then go ahead and pay him and I'll send you the money. Well, he did. He talked him down and then he said, I said, well, look, I think he talked him down to $350 or something like that. Anyway, the guy was moving. He needed to get rid of him. So it was a good deal for him and for me. And so I said, well, look, when are you going to go get the pinball machine? He said, I'll have to go get it this weekend. I have to work every day. He said, I can't take the trailer down to get it. I said, well, look, when you get there, ask him if he wants to sell the second one also. Well, he gets down there that Saturday. And the guy said, no, I've already sold it. You know, it's already gone. He said, a guy came along, he wanted the head for it. So I sold that separately from the rest and just dumped the other pinball machine. I said, oh, man, that sucks. I said, well, that's the way it goes, you know. You snooze, you lose, right? So anyway, it was, I think it was Christmas. My son brought down our pinball machine. And there it is right there. We're going to go ahead and open it up. Before I do, though, I want you to know it is a Gottlieb. It's a 3-ball machine, a Gottlieb. And the guy had all the paperwork with it, which was really neat. The schematics, the manual, everything you can want. I've sent copies of this to Brendan, our good friend Brendan. So we'll be on the same sheet of music as we go through it. And I've already fired it up once, turned it on to see what we would get. And we're going to go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and pull the covers off. I'll just let you see. Watch me pull the covers off. We'll do the great reveal here. There it is, guys. The Card Whiz by Gottlieb. Not too shabby, huh? I can't remember what year it was. It seems to me it was 76, maybe. It seems to me this was their last analog. I think this was their last analog pinball machines. I think from here on out they went digital. I'm not an expert on it. Have I ever worked on a pinball machine? No. No, just like I've never worked on a jukebox. That's why I do this stuff. Because these are things I've never worked on. I want to learn something new, play with it. And, you know, what the heck. You know, if it doesn't work when I get done, as I always repeatedly say, if it doesn't work when I get done, doesn't work now. So what? Look at the fun I've had. This is a hobby, guys. This is not life or death. You know, I get some guys contact me. Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. Oh, if you don't do this, the world's coming to an end. Oh, my God. Yeah, shut up. You know, this is a hobby to me. It should be a hobby to you, too. It's supposed to be therapeutic and relaxing. We don't worry about anything. We just have fun with it, okay? That's what it's all about. Get away from the old lady. Get away from the hustle and bustle of daily life. Get away from the job. Get away from everything. And enjoy ourselves. That's what we do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut the lights off, and I'm going to go ahead and turn the machine on and show you what we have so far. All right, the switch for this machine is down along the right-hand edge and underneath the bottom. There's a round recessed hole, and in it is a push-button switch that goes up and down. Turns it on, turns it off. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Not too shabby so far, huh? Now you'll hear the machine running in there. What's supposed to happen is that when I press this reset button on the front, there's a reset button down here in the front. When you press that reset button, let me turn the light on so you can see it. When you press the reset button here, everything is supposed to reset. The numbers are supposed to reset. And then the machine, the ball kicks out and you're ready to go. And you just, you know, take the old spring thing and send the ball out. But this thing here, the flippers are not working. What's happened here is the numbers are not resetting. Now the way these numbers work, I'm going to go ahead and shut it off rather than burn that motor out. The way these numbers work, from what I understand, is the first number resets to 0, and then that enables the second one to reset, and then the third one to reset, and then the fourth one on. You know, one has to reset before the next one can reset. They just don't roll around all at once and pump. You know, it's one at a time. One resets the next, resets the next. Well, that's not happening. And so there was something wrong behind the glass, you know, in the electronics part of it. So I went back and I looked around, and you know, it's kind of interesting. There's 7 games credit on this thing too. Look at there. I hadn't noticed that before. I went around, I took the back off, and there is a problem with the scroll wheel thing. There was a set. Somebody replaced the set of contacts back there that enables the first one to kick in, and which enables the second one and the third, but the first one's not kicking in, so they put the wrong kind of contacts on it. They're not making, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. I don't know why they put contacts in there like that. It didn't make any sense. Well, I went on eBay, a couple of months ago, I guess it was, and I looked around for, you know, different scroll. I forget what they call these things. There's a name for them. Anyway, here's what they look like. I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and take it out of the bag here. Well, here they are. When I went on eBay, I found a guy who had them, and he was parting out a Gottlieb machine, and he had a price down there, and I said, you know, geez, I could probably, I said, he had 3 of them for sale, and I said, well, how much do you want total for all 3? I said, I'll buy each one in case I need them. And he said, well, the price on there is for all 3. I said, well, fantastic. I'll take them all. So I took them all, and here they are. But the relay, the contacts that I'm having trouble with are these. Let me see. This thing goes in like this. No, it goes in like this. Like so. This thing fits in vertically like so. From the rear, as you can see, it would look, you know. And this set right here is the contacts that are burned out and broken right here. I'm pretty sure these are the ones. So all I have to do is remove these wires from here. I'll leave everything the way it is. I'll just remove these wires from this one set and put this set of contacts. We're pretty good at cleaning contacts by now, aren't we? See how one thing leads to another? Jukebox contacts to pinball contacts. We'll go ahead and put this set of contacts in. And the way I was able to spot the one on the back being bad is that one of these nuts was missing off the post. Well, when I went back there and looked, and I said, well, that's interesting. Why is that nut missing off of there? Well, I mean, they messed around with it, screwed it up, put the wrong set of contacts in, probably realized it wasn't the right one, said the heck with it. They dropped the screw and left the other one in, said the heck with it. I'm getting rid of them. Now, I don't know if it's the guy that sold it to me or the one that sold it to him. But anyway, we have 3 of these that we can make repairs with. Right now, I don't see any burned out relays. I've looked underneath this thing, which we will do. The first video, we're going to kind of tear this thing apart, open it up, and I'll show you what's down inside. I'll study up on the manual a little bit so I can identify a few parts. I'm not into memorizing what every part is on anything. I just don't like that, you know. All I want to do is be able to get in there, figure out what's wrong, find it, fix it. And there are, the old Gottlieb, they have a lot of parts available, guys. Lots and lots of parts. So that will be our ongoing parallel project to our jukebox. And our jukebox, I was really happy today to see what was going on. Even though we didn't have 100% success picking up each of the records, all I have to do is adjust the rack a little bit. And that should solve the problem, I hope. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I am back. There may be other delays of a few days from time to time as I've got to get more stuff in the garden. After the first week in April, the soil temperature should be good. We'll be past our frost period of the year, and I can go ahead and put in some seedlings, tomato plants and cucumbers and bell peppers and all that jazz. So I'll be working on that. So until next time, guys, I appreciate you being here. This is John. Well, John and his wife and our grandson just arrived, and they're unloading the back of the van for some Christmas gifts. And here's the trailer that has, there's our Card Whiz, the top to our Card Whiz pinball machine. But look what's right next to it. The Gunsmoke pinball machine as well. We got 2 of them to work on. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to fix them both. And one of them is going to go back to them. They said I paid for this one. They said they bought this one for me for a Christmas present. Is that pretty cool, or is that pretty cool? They told me this thing had been dismantled and sold by the owner. It never was. They bought it. Now we got to get it in the garage, which is a ways away. Yeah, John said it was BOGO, buy one, get one free.